Welcome to the Weekly Well. Today I'd like to talk about the Apostle Paul, but I want to speak about his life before he was the Apostle Paul and when he was known as Saul, right? That guy who went around persecuting Christians, persecuting the followers of the way, followers of Jesus. And it's really interesting to me that Saul, we all know he's this really awful guy. He admits it. He says that later. He was the worst of sinners. But he was not a nice guy. And then, of course, on the road to Damascus, he meets Jesus and he is converted to a follower of Jesus on that trip. And when he gets to Damascus, of course, there are people there who are having a really difficult time believing that he's actually converted. They're still a little afraid of him. What I find interesting, though, is that Saul goes from this guy who is feared and who is out to kill and harm the followers of Jesus to becoming a follower of Jesus himself. And then we read in Acts 9 that he himself then becomes the one whose life is in danger. People are actually wanting to kill him. There's two things that I want us to contemplate as we look at this story and as this account in Acts chapter 9. And that is, number one, we are called to give our lives to Jesus. And sometimes that takes a lot of commitment to do. In Paul's case, when he turned to the Lord and found Jesus on that road, he committed himself fully to that cause and to that work that he was then given to do. But the other thing that we have to recognize is that just because we follow Jesus and just because we say yes to Jesus, it doesn't mean our life is easy. Paul encountered, or Saul still at this point, encountered so many difficult things to the point of people wishing him dead and wanting to kill him. His life was very difficult. In fact, following Jesus in some ways made his life even more difficult. Let that not be a deterrent to us, though. I want to take from this passage, from this chapter 9 of Acts, these two things. Number one, we have to commit ourselves to following after Jesus. And when we do that, the second part, when it's difficult, I pray that the Holy Spirit would empower us and give us the joy, but also the discipline to continue to be committed to following Jesus, whatever the cost. May God grant you His peace as you follow Him. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you, and we'll see you next week.